Hey Hoopheads, Brad here with another breakdown, and today I want to talk about the Raptors defense in their 113-97 win over the Celtics. The Raptors were led in this one by Kyle Lowry's 30 points on 10 of 17 shooting with 5 threes, 7 assists, 2 steals. McCaw had 18 points on 8 of 12 shooting with 7 boards, 8 assists in 43 minutes. Fred had 18 points, 5 assists, 5 steals, and the Raptors defense was really solid in this one. They held Jason Tatum to just 7 shots and forced 6 turnovers from him. The Raptors faced a tough whistle in this one. Rondé and OG both fouled out, lots of foul calls, a huge free throw disparity, but at the same time I did think that the Raptors earned the fouls that were called on them. They were playing very physical defense, so I don't think it was too egregious. Let's get into it. On the very first play of the game, the Celtics run a back screen for Jaylen Brown to catch the ball under the basket, but McCaw meets him there. Huge block. This turns out to be a jump ball. Then the next time down the court, Jaylen Brown gets the ball with McCaw on him. McCaw pokes it loose and Fred is there to scoop it up. Great defensive intensity from McCaw. On this play, Fred and Lowry switch the first screen, then Serge drops down low as Walker comes off the pick. Ball's kicked out to Tice, who's a pretty good shooter, so Serge has to close out on him. Tice gets a step on Serge, but Lowry is there, so he kicks it out. McCaw does a great job of cutting off the pass to the corner, and as Walker splits the D, Kyle Lowry is there on the backside of the defense to challenge the floater from Kemba Walker. Now Brown gets a step on McCaw, but McCaw with a reach around steal from the backside maybe got away with a foul, but when you play aggressive D, sometimes the refs are going to miss calls, and the Raps took advantage of that. Here, Kemba Walker coming off the screen with a full head of steam, but Chris Boucher meets Daniel Tice at the rim for the block Quebecois. This gets the Raptors out in transition where they work the ball to Fred VanVleet for the wide open 3, and that's how you turn your defense into offensive buckets. And now Jaylen Brown in transition, but Kyle Lowry is back in position to take this charge. They call it a blocking foul, but Nurse challenged it and they reversed the call. Great work by Lowry to shut down the fast break. Here, Rondé with some nice ball pressure on Williams, and then as the pass goes over to Walker, watch him help down to the free throw line. Then McCaw with a bit of an over-enthusiastic closeout to Jaylen Brown. Fred has to come down and help. Then he recovers back out to Kemba Walker. As Walker gets into the paint, Rondé is there to challenge the shot along with Fred, and that's great help and recover defense by the Raptors. This happened a couple times this game where Fred's assertiveness on defense leads to an offensive foul. Here on the dribble handoff as he sprints towards Walker, Williams isn't set, and if Fred's not putting in that kind of effort, this foul never gets called. Here, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson on Jason Tatum does a great job of negotiating the Enes Kanter pick. Tatum pulls it back out and sizes him up, decides to go with the step back, but I don't mind that as long as Rondé can keep Tatum in front of him. That's a lot less perilous to the defense. Now in transition, Jason Tatum finds himself with Kyle Lowry defending him in the post. He tries to go at him, but that's usually a mistake. He tries a rip-through move, but Lowry moves his hand back, and because Tatum left his feet, that's going to be a travel. Nice work by Lowry, very crafty. Here, as Walker comes off the screen, OG is there ready to pounce. Walker dribbles it off his foot, and OG is the first one to the floor. Him diving makes Tatum have to dive into the backcourt. The refs call it over and back because OG never actually touched the ball, and that's great hustle. That turnover is all derived from OG's effort. Here, as Kemba Walker curls off this screen, watch how Kyle Lowry sags down in case Daniel Tice gets a step on Boucher. The pass goes to Hayward instead, and check out this shot contest from Kyle Lowry, hand right in Hayward's face as he releases it. Hayward was only 3 for 13 in this game. Here, Lowry and Hayward fighting for position. Lowry makes him catch it outside the three-point line. Hayward finds Brown on the duck-in, but Chris Boucher is there for the block Quebecois. Again, swats it from the backside. Great help D from Boucher. The Celtics got him to bite on a couple pump fakes this game, but this time his shot blocking prowess pays off. Then on the ensuing inbound, the ball goes to Hayward, and the Celtics have a hard time getting much of anything as he finds Brown with Rondé on him. Rondé gives a pretty good challenge here, and the Raptors have their stop. Now as Walker attacks off the Kanter screen, McCaw slides over, gets a hand on the ball and knocks it out of bounds. Good work to break it up. And then in transition, Marcus Smart tries to throw a risky bounce pass to Jaylen Brown, but Fred is there to intercept it. Now in the third quarter, Fred VanVleet showing why he's one of the best in the league at negotiating screens. He gets over this one and pokes it away from Jason Tatum to get one of his 5 steals. Tatum does not have a tight enough handle to deal with Fred VanVleet. Here, Fred playing aggressive defense on the handoff. Again, Jason Tatum just bumps into him. That's another turnover forced by VanVleet's effort. And now as Kyle Lowry turns this ball over, check out where Fred VanVleet is and watch him get back on defense, get into this play, poke the ball away. Incredible pressure on the fast break from Steady Freddy. And he had a huge game even though he had an off shooting night. Here, Rondé with a little bit of pressure on Jason Tatum. He kicks it out to Cantor, and it always makes me a little bit nervous whenever Serge gets up this high. But once Cantor gets rid of the ball, Serge does a nice job of getting back into the lane. Then, as Tatum drives, he loses the ball. It goes straight to Serge. Nice work. Good pressure from the Raps. One of the nice surprises for the Raptors in this game was the play of Oshae Brissett, who had 15 minutes, including most of the fourth quarter. He had some huge offensive rebounds and some great one-on-one defensive moments as well. And it was Oshae's effort in the third and fourth quarter that helped the Raptors grow their lead up to double digits. And with his help, the Raptors out-rebounded the Celtics by a monster 22 boards for the game. Now with time running out in the third quarter, the Celtics go to Jason Tatum with Oshae Brissett on him. And check out the way Brissett gets down in his stance, moves his feet, stays with Tatum every which way he goes, contests the shot. That's an air ball, a 24-second violation, and the Mississauga Mountain making the most of his minutes. Now Oshae switches onto Hayward, does a good job of warding him off, but check out Terrence Davis facing the wrong way. Then as Wanamaker drives, Oshae Brissett steps up and McCaw comes down from the top to help, probably unnecessarily. The ball goes out to his man. He gives a pretty good recovering closeout, and even though the Raptors make a few little mistakes here and there, you can see the effort is always present. Now the Celtics working it at the top. Eventually Cantor sets the screen, then slips it. Lowry tries to go over the top, then works his way back into the play. Nice contest. The ball drops right into the Celtics' hands. The ball goes out to Marcus Smart. Terrence Davis with a pretty nice closeout under control. Still able to get the shot contest on the escape dribble shot. And that's about all you can ask for in terms of effort. Now Oshae Brissett on Marcus Smart. Smart tries to attack him, but Brissett moves his feet, does a great job of containing him. Smart gives it to Cantor. Oshae stays down for a little pressure on Cantor. The ball goes back out to Marcus Smart. Brissett gets out with a big shot contest. Then scrambling off the offensive rebound, the Celtics get it down low to Cantor, but Lowry gets in there and just rips it away from him. Great strength, great hands from Lowry. Now McCaw trying to navigate the Grant Williams screen, and as soon as he gets up to get over it, Kemba takes him the other way. Serge had been dropping a bit too low on Walker, but this time he gets out nice and high to shut down the three-point possibility. Walker drives, and Lowry is there with the help D. Brissett closes out to Gordon Hayward with a big shot contest. That's an air ball, and it's going to be out off the Celtics to boot. Great work by the Raptors on that possession. On this play, as Jaylen Brown cuts to the rim, check out Lowry's ball denial defense. Great deflection, great reaction by Brown to get it. Rondé ends up having to foul, but that's great initial ball denial by Lowry, and Tony Brothers definitely could have called this push here if he wanted to as well. Now in transition, Walker finds Brown, who tries to attack the rim, but Fred able to get a hand in there to poke it away. Good challenge by Fred and Brissett. Then Fred goes coast to coast for the lefty lay-in high off the glass. Fred VanVleet coming up big when it matters. And now Oshae Brissett gets switched on to Kemba Walker, who tries to attack him off the dribble, but Brissett does a great job moving his feet, shuts down the drive, and then as the ball goes to the corner, McCaw gambles a little bit too much for this one, gets himself out of position. This means Fred has to help down from the top. The ball goes out to Hayward, pretty wide open. He bricks it, but Jaylen Brown's there for the putback. But I love that initial defense from Oshae Brissett on Kemba Walker. Great lateral movement. Now in transition, Jason Tatum finds himself with VanVleet on him, tries to go at him, but Fred just snatches it. If your handle is loose at all, Fred VanVleet is going to take the ball. On this play, the Raptors send Boucher out to the three-point line, similar to how they did with Serge before. Walker blows by him. Good help on the interior, but as the ball goes back out to the top, Tatum gets a step on VanVleet. More help under the basket. The ball goes out to the corner. Good shot contest from Kyle Lowry there. And the Raptors really saving each other with their help and rotations. And finally, a nice attack from the Celtics, but the Raptors rotating really well. Fred bites on the Smart pump fake, but McCaw is there to still contest the shot after. Smart goes to Walker instead, and check out Oshae with 1 foot in the paint as Walker catches this ball, still gets out for a nice closeout. And the Raptors would go on to win this one handily, serving the Celtics just their second home loss of the season. And with this win, the Raptors have a defensive rating of 104.1, which is good for third in the league, only 0.1 behind the Nuggets. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and let me know what you thought of the Raptors defense on the Celtics in the comments.